Hello there everyone, it's Mark 3 and welcome back to a bit more Outpost Infinity Siege. If you want to timestamp when this is recording, this is being done the day when the first part of those two multiplayer videos is going out. So we are very close in now regarding where I am recording versus actual activity. But we are actually back in the woodland area. And that's because there was something in the woodland area I didn't want to pass up on. I wanted to actually show you guys. Just because I think it's part of the world building, really. So, this is a school, as you saw there. It's a very nice school. It's very shiny. It's got high school on the front of it. Very generically named high school. But there's actually another POI, which...
Thunderstorm outbreak. Watch out for lightning strikes.
Thank you. Which normally spawns with this school, which is why I'm here. And that is, there is actually, right next to this facility of education, something a little stranger, a little bit more weird. Also, before I continue, I should probably actually note, I'm not so sure how much it is, but there was a recent comment from Trinity Kane. Trinity Kane Thunderstorm, yes. Trinity Kane, suggesting that I switch to low graphic settings since this game has pretty bad optimization. Yeah, I noticed that. But I didn't actually have access to graphic settings for some reason. So I actually verified my game files, and then I got access to my graphic settings, and so I've actually been able to reduce it slightly. So it was already on basically medium, but now it's been dropped to low, medium, high, low, low. Yeah. Average of low, medium now, so that's below what it was. Illumination quality is left to high because I've noticed that drastically affects the overall appearance of the game. But most settings are now to medium to low, so that's hopefully improved things. So it's not done anything to all the dots and pixels being left behind. VSync didn't fix that either. It's weird. Anyway. I've just accepted that as the game being what it be, honestly. Oh, this is actually very well lit up. Normally it's a lot darker than this. I'm guessing that's a symptom of the shadow quality being turned down. Oi, shadow quality. No, that's actually medium. If I switch the text quality up. It's not normally this visible. Anyway, yes. Let's go down into what's very clearly meant to be next to this school. This is weird. This has never been this well lit before. Unless it's because... Is it because I dropped the post... No, post was already on medium. Special effects? I don't know what's caused this, but this is all well lit up very well. Okay, welcome to a pristine place underneath this, and it's just called POI. Also worth noting, by the way, like in some story missions, I don't have access to my overall command view, so I can't control the pulse from down here. But my current character does have scanner gloves, so that helps. But this is a mysterious place. It's all very... It's way too well lit, honestly. This is meant to be looking nice and awesome and all that stuff, but it's not, it's not. Ah! Reflection quality. And suddenly, it stops reflecting. Okay, so why the heck was shadow under reflection? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, so, I think the idea is you drop down here, you've got a dead guard. Got some notes here. People can handle such power before the power goes out of control. Let them die as humans. This is related to a certain someone we met in a previous story mission, but as we can see, there's more dead guards. There's a fight going on here. Multiple dead squad members. So there's something really bad happened down here, honestly, but this place usually has a fair bit of resources in it. It's also worth noting you want to have some power and some lockpicks. Either that or just break the doors. I think my gun is powerful enough right now to break some of the doors. Let's see. Door strength 600. Yeah, I can just crack this. And... oh look, there's a zombie. If you can handle such power, it kind of leans into the whole genetic mutation side of things mentioned previously in the storyline and the squad skill point system. So this implies this was a testing facility from back when that was still being worked out. And before it was like so tightly controlled, and they made some, well, pretty drastic missteps. Looks like there's a body under here or something, and then this poor soul... oh no, wait, no. This is just a body. This one, actually, that's a body. But this, it looks like it got off that one and came over here and then collapsed. So who's under the cover? A mystery for modern times, that. Anyway, let's keep on exploring, shall we? There's actually not much here. Another guard, mines, there's another note. Specimen is mighty yet chaotic, shows no sign of self-consciousness, almost like a demon of Satan's. Not a pioneer, even when night falls. So, not even a vampire apparently, but reminds you of a certain glowing enemy we recently faced, doesn't it? And then this is just a supply room. I think that's another note upstairs, honestly. But this is behind a double door. 90,000, so have to get through, but you can use power. Click. And then lockpick this one. But this is only 600, so you don't actually have to do that. And then here we are in the final room with one last note. I hope all of this will end someday. Truer words were never spoken, but these guys got in here, locked the doors, and then they were never rescued. But as we can see, they had casualties already, or subjects, or I'm not entirely sure which. But yes, welcome to what is very clearly what is meant to be near a school. Actually, I should probably hold on to those shells, shouldn't I? Yeah. I just wanted to share this, honestly, because it's a curious little place. And we've not actually seen the best part of it yet. Because there's still one more trick up its sleeve. And that is, when you actually go to try to leave this place, I'll leave the turret base, I guess, I'll bring the missile. I think this is a bit of bad design, because normally you'd want this thing to... If I was designing this, I'd have had this locked behind a power switch further in. You had to go in, find the power switch, and then this becomes available. But when you trigger this, well...
Elevator is causing noise.
Hi! Yeah, those notes were about nebulas. These guys. And they just mysteriously appear. And there's another one. Oh, and apparently I missed a Zen chest. Can't do that. Yeah, it's a copy of Light. Light's actually kind of hard to get. But yeah, I feel like this is meant to be like a bit of a horror, bit of a mystery thing, followed by a sudden close encounter with nebulas. But even the first time I came to this, I was already powerful. I was gunned to a similar kind of level, honestly, so they weren't too much of a problem. Just unload. But yes, it's exactly what deserves to be next to a school. For better or worse.
Faye, the elevator's here. Go, go, go!
And that line there makes me think there was meant to be more to this POI. Like it was meant to be survival, like I was meant to be chased around the halls trying to stay out of the fight and live through this. And then it's like, hey, the elevator's finally arrived. Also notice the very noisy elevator wasn't actually being very noisy. So, anyway, that was a quick aside as I go into the forest zone just to, you know, just to show you that, basically. There was a bit of chugging there. I think reflection actually might be an intensive one, but honestly, low to medium is such a huge difference. I don't want to go back to low. Let's go. Okay. Oh yeah, this character needs to take her meds as well. And in fact, I'll use this to actually... I think... Yes, take your delicious EXP. Thank you. I'll take this to quickly show what's happened, because compared to the last time you saw this base, there have been a few minor modifications, but nothing really that significant. Just throw this stuff in there. Of course I did that. Of course I did that. That'll do. Right, so 3 ammo makers, okay. Some extra battery and resource storage crates, which is basically the same as it was before, okay. 2 cargo drones, which have been used exclusively for specifically cherry-picking loot back from the snow area. But I've got 2, mainly because the cooldown on one of these things is quite slow. And then the other thing is the back plate has been extended with a pair of extra machine guns, and then that's it. But you can already see the base was in urgent need of upgrade. This is a level 6 base plate, by the way. But what's coming right after this, though, is actually a time-lapse of me getting the base up to its current state. Spoiler alert, I ran out of materials, and so it's not up to the state I actually wanted to be at. So, yeah. There we go. So this really was just a dive in to find this particular POI to show it to you. Anyway, time for a quick extraction, and then you get a time skip. Huzzah! Okay, I think now might be a good time to quickly adjust a comment from Happy Aether. Wow. Address a comment from Happy Aether, thank you. I will make sense someday, I swear, just not today. There we go. Right. So, this one specifically because it is involving a bright light, and I was asked not to do what I did. So, Happy Aether said, time-lapse is great for base building, just try not to move the camera too much. I tried not to. Honestly, the pattern I use in build modes has the camera locked in position vertically. So I don't move the camera around that much in the build mode, really. Just jam this back in here. But the second part of the comment is what I'm referring to. Please don't use healing turrets at point blank. It is a green flashbang for everyone. I do apologise. There is actually a slight issue with that. And there was a reason I got that close too. But it is a fair point about the flashbang. Right. So the issue is, it's a big, oversized turret already. And I'm using it in my hands. That's kind of why it's got a big effect on it. But as to why I got so close, so the flash was right in front of us, that's because you have to get that close for this pop-up to appear, and to actually see how much health the thing I was targeting had. So that was why I did that. When I was far enough away that the brightness was not an issue, it's just like it just wouldn't work because I couldn't see if I'd actually fully restored it or not. I was just wasting ammo basically. So that's why I did that. Don't worry though, because honestly, it is not something I normally do. I grabbed and tried it that time. Every once in a while I'll grab one and use it, but I don't normally get these repair barrels and actually use them like that. In fact, normally I don't even bother to grab them at the moment because I just don't have much use for them. If they could be fitted to a machine gun turret, I'd probably be being a lot more conscious of grabbing them, but no, it's only if I've actually got Guardians along. I don't actually have the tech for that yet. Plus, once we reach City Zone and we get advanced Guardian fabrication, there is a Guardian which can be upgraded by default to actually carry a repair turret, which means that I don't have to source them randomly. It's just these random spots that actually give me the turret a bit early. That's basically how it's worked out. Another reason, of course, is the fact I've got this, but then I've got this character's movement special, which also immediately drops it anyway. So let's get up there. Whee! Hover, which I've got an airborne helmet on now, which means that every second that ticks by that I'm in the air, I get an extra second of cooldown reduction on my abilities. So, useful one if you've got a character that can stay up in the air, because I've got levitation boots. And it just helps with any kind of skill recharge. Right now it's recharging that sword dash attack. I'll keep... No, I'll throw those... Actually, no, I've not really had materials. I'll keep them. But yeah, this is just my quick stop off before extraction. And I thought I'd go ahead and actually mention that.
Combat mode activated.
I don't know why I pressed escape. All I know is the timing for this episode is going to be all kind of off, really. Envoy and digital. I can't use those in the extraction zone, so I'll send those in as well. And we goes.
Combat mode activated.
Oh, by the way, you know I said the whole pixels being left behind thing is still a factor? That's because a great way to tell is actually to watch these turrets idling back and forth. And I can see pixels being left behind as they move very frequently. So yeah, if that's to do with reflection though, let's actually check that real quick. Reflection. Hey buddy, turn that down again for me, will you? No change. Yeah, I don't know what specific settings causing that. If I did, I could fix it. But yeah, everything's kind of... Wait, post process. Nope, still doing it. And this is part of why I've been a little bit irritated trying to work it out. I've turned off extra frame generation, I've got VSync turned on. There was no noticeable change if I switch them back. That disables the VSync. And if anything, it's actually worse now with that, so... You know, it's weird. It's kind of a weird situation, but this game being this game. That's all I've got. That's all I can say, and that's all I can chalk it up to. Okay, that was a little bit weird. So sometimes the menus and things lag, and I can't say... I've noticed it being a bit more reliable when I first get into a mission. But then we also get odd instances like that one there, where it's just like, nothing really happens, you know? But anyway, this level of defenses should be okay once I get 2 more machine guns into it. Yeah, no biggie. Plus I actually round up with a knight able to help me out on this one as well. So I'm not all alone, I do have access to some backup. Huzzah. This is going to be one heck of a choppy episode. By which I mean there's going to be a lot of jump cuts. So, yeah, frame rate's actually doing okay. Yep, there goes the Apostle. I think this is also a good chance to mention. There was an earlier comment on the first few videos where it was noted I was jumping up on top of these barriers to shoot at people across them in the middle of a hail of gunfire from my turrets, and the question was, is friendly fire not a thing? The answer is no and yes, I suppose you could say. No, friendly fire does not really hurt you, so I could jump around in front of my own Gatling gun barrage without too much trouble. But yes, friendly fire can still affect you. The recent multiplayer episodes is a good example, where Lil Kari got ragdolled because a 105 artillery shell landed too close to him. He didn't get hurt, but it did knock him over. And there's also some Zen that actually have specific effects, like there's some that boost melee damage, some that boost mobility for allies. There's an actual mend Zen modifier which can make attacks repair allied buildings. So you know, that's the thing. There's also some general buffing ones. There's one for reloading at a distance, basically. Though it's also pretty expensive to do. So yeah. Just figured I'd also cover that while I'm here, waiting for this turkey shoot to finish. We're nearly there, we're nearly there. I just want to point out something really interesting. I thought, I've got this mech, I'll try to blow this door off, and the game is actually... The mech seems to have some kind of programming lock on it. See, it's just skipping me straight over the door whenever I actually try to put my crosshairs on it. It's a little unexpected, that. Anyway, worth noting, by the way, cataphracts like those are also a mobility booster as well, because they are pretty quick on their feet. So that's another reason to not be using so many mobility boosts in the future if I've got access to those, which I do, as you will soon see. Ah well. Farewell, Forest. I might come back someday, I don't know. Okay, and here is last view of this particular outpost as it stands. As I said, we're just like a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit something else. Just that's all I did to it compared to last time. But this outpost is way smaller than its current build pad allows, so we get another time skip now that I mentioned. Enjoy.
I don't understand. What do you want? You're just a machine. You're just a machine.
And here we are.
Core tower ready.
And yes, you can see how there is some struggle to move, but we've got mechs, we've got guns, we've got armor, we've got all sorts of doodads in here. This is also not quite what you saw at the end of the end of that time skip there. Mainly because I ran out of parts. Now that was part of the reason I was actually back in Forest again there, just to scrounge some more materials and reset the shops and things. And yes, as you can see, those cryo turrets there. 2 knights hangers at the back. It's dotted with 13mm guns, auto-loaders, and many things. And honestly, one of the things I've always liked about these building games is the chance to compare myself to what my friends are doing as well. So, to compare, Little Kari's is very much based on a bit more on the meta. Some videos he had like 30mm and then a slope with a 30mm mounted on it behind it to improve its firing arc and things like that. So here's taking a very pyramidal shape kind of thing. Clint's had a big back structure, but the front was thoroughly open, and that housed all the auto-loading, the ammo makers, and the turrets. So it's like very much an open plan style base rather than the fortified. Little Kari's probably has more armor than I last saw, but obviously you can see I've not done the same approach either because this is not fully enclosed. Let's bring up something else Little Kari taught me about, which is yon view inside, so we can see here. Because this base is actually focused on giving autoloader performance from a limited number of autoloaders, its actual armor layout isn't that dense. Though that said, the actual pillars, while they do house batteries along with, well, resource crates and things in there as well, while they house all that, they are also very tough. Like 1,500 hit points on the front because of all the extra reinforcements, 1,400 for that one because this one's got bonuses from the, I think from these guys coming into it from the sides and stuff like that. So enemies will probably be hitting these and getting stuck on them. They can't just walk straight in or get at the turrets because I've actually included the barriers at the front, as you saw there. Then as we move up, part of the layering is extra firepower in the form of the bottom MG turrets, which I am quite fond of because, you know, they start off as Gatling turrets. With the autoloaders to feed them, that's going to help out immensely. But they do block things being built on top of them directly. That's a mine launcher, by the way, just there. So, because you can't build directly on top of them, including like slopes and stairs and stuff, I've built slightly higher, and I've also elevated the autoloaders up a little bit in terms of here. There's going to be like two high side panels to go onto the side of these, but I've also used it as a convenient space to increase my material storage just a tiny bit. All the autoloaders are in the center back here, which is all well and good. And then 4 of the autoloaders are rigged. You probably saw it shuffling this around in the time skip, just to make sure that this thing could get supplied. So this thing has 4 autoloaders ready to feed it. There's the 2 cargo drones. There's an actual smart mortar, which I configured only go for large turrets because I don't like, especially how it snipes small things all over the map everywhere else. So it's like, you know, go for the big guys. There's usually small guys around them. I might configure that later. I've not used the smart mortars very much. Anyway, that's the forward prow of the base. Looks very fortified. Go to the back here. We've also got turrets on top here. We've got more of a gunnery deck style approach back here. So multiple machine guns, and then a couple of 30mm fitted into the place. Back, of course, is the knights, and of course, most importantly, which wasn't in the time skip, is we have the Wings of Liberty. And that there means this is a top tier base. There's nothing else to be said about it. Yes, that is the only thing. Okay, so what's actually changed a little bit? Well, there's more barriers, for one, because I managed to scrounge some parts and also buy some straight from the shop. There's more batteries. Wings of Light, of course, are here. The platforms have been rearranged, but more importantly, I got my hands on pillar technology. And that is significant because, if we go to the back here, it lets us do this with the first denser power storage. The plan is to use material storage underneath these as well, making use of those other 2 rows. So this is a hybrid storage approach, then this is just denser power. There's also well as massive reinforcement because the pillars affect the plates on either side, above and below, in terms of bone stability. So that's got 1,400. If we look up here, this one, I think it is 3,400 hit points on that thing there. So if I could integrate pillars into the armoring work, that would be really helpful, but I don't know how much of a use that is meta-wise. Oh, also vertical springboards to allow you to get back on top of the pillar, should you so desire. But yeah, this base is kind of incomplete. If I had the parts, I would have built up the rear bulk of it a bit more, so it would be in a lower tier armoured combat area, and then a higher tier providing some more overarching fire support for it. But there is something else we can do, which I've just realised, which I'm also slightly well, not slightly confused, but I think I know where it came from. After that last mission, we have just unlocked access to the twin 30 mils. Now I think this is where this has come from, but along with the twin 30 mils, we've also gained access to the Vipers. Viper chain guns. It's a 30 mil, but faster. And hits harder. So, faster firing, better fire rate, general improvement. It takes 3 30 mils to make, which is why I think this is an alternate compared to the double shot pyro ammo twin barrel. So there are differences between the two and reasons to go for either. Though notably, pyro ammunition gets weaker if there's a rain or storm or snowstorm going on. So yeah, but pyro in general I think just explodes and burns. This one is just more of a kinetic weapon, but I want some of these, darn it, so I'm going to make some of these. Okay, 2, we've got an insufficient quantity available of light guns. We are short 6 30 mils. That's okay, because I am actually planning to remove some anyway. Yep, now it's highlighting because I've modified it. That's 4. And then this fits in the same place, though it's actually got a slightly larger profile, as you can see. There we go. That's a pair of them. And in fact, because I do like the look of it, I kind of want to make some more. What am I short on? Oh, I'm short on nanochips, of all things. Oh well. Okay. Noted. But I'm not short on parts for 30mm cannons, so that's not a problem. And yeah, by the way, that's the thing about it. If you manufacture to fix a shortage, it does stay highlighted until you actually move a component, or just move a component, honestly. It fixes it. Now the thing is, I was thinking of putting these over, a couple over here, but I've only got the one. I quite happily sit it there. I'll just use this one for indirect fire support, I suppose. And then, for completion, I could not install. I think I'm missing nanochips again for, yeah, nanochips for 30 mils. That's going to come up. We're going to get more reliable supply of those pretty shortly. Also, cryo turrets, we're missing these guys, like high energy matter, which requires nuclear fuel rods to actually manufacture that. So that's going on. Also, I've not got the light Zen turret because I'm short on reactive hubs. So I do need to run level 3. I've just not been doing it because we don't have CWIS yet. So the base is actually CWIS ready. These corner pillars specifically I've earmarked for CWIS. I think back here as well are midships and to the other side. And midships, this is kind of, well, basically a land ship, isn't it? More or less. I don't know. Oops, anyway. Just reline those. Okay, and make sure all the setting priorities are configured, I guess. Adjust it. The small, prioritizing large and apostle. I think... Actually... Yeah, let's switch the Apostle one down to medium, and then this one will go for medium and large. Confirm. And then 3 Vipers. These guys ignore small because I prefer to let the small just come in and get close to the other things. But because of their higher rate of fire and damage, focus Apostles and Massives. Then switch to large and medium as required. Also check the range on these. 9,500. These guys operate at 8,000. Okay, so yeah, they have a range advantage as well. All machine guns are set this way. Small things first in range, medium, large, apostle, and then last is massives. So ignore the big guys because these guys are meant to be clearing the small guys so that the base isn't bothered by them. And the underslung machine guns are set the same way. Also, I did kind of forget to mention, actually, if we bring up the edit mode back again really quick. There it is. Okay, I was just trying to figure out where that had got to, but it was actually coming in really high. And yes, there's another something there. There are also, if we have a look, some interior coverage machine guns as well to help cover the base. And apart from all the extra power generators, we've also got our first assembler fitted in here as well, which is just unlocked right before that last tour. This will allow me to take ammunition from the makers and gold, and then use that to produce basic supplies. Like a steady issue so far has actually been running out of armor plates, for example. Like if I get absolutely hammered in a zone, then I'm usually out of armor plates, so I'm not carrying any. This can be used to actually manufacture them at a cost of gold. So gold is a single stack item, just carry it with you. I feel like originally that was actually something that required specific materials to do specific things, but then it got streamlined because people just weren't using it. Also, I plan to wall these sections in, really, which will help the armoured appearance of it, but I just don't have the materials right now. Anyway, that's the base. Such it is. Now, we need to go on our tour. Hi Juliet, how are you doing? Tour mode.
Commander of Outpost 11, Faye Pratt. Sorting authorization granted.
So yes, our new outpost starts with 36 ammo boxes and artillery shells preloaded. 5,000 material storage, 290 power, which is less than the previous base, but it has a core output starting 364. That will only get better as we get more technology available, but for now that's what it is at. Pretty heavy. Anyway, confirm.
Please confirm your operatives.
You check your backpack real quick. Yeah, this is my current equipment. Core gun, fitted with light, scatter, and grenade. A couple of orange pieces, the smart scope and double barrel, are recent acquisitions via multiplayer. And airborne helmet, as I said here. Staying airborne for a second recovers a second off a skill. A cooldown is bonus. Not a skill, any skill that's in cooldown. So that means recharging my blade attack on this one. Sand gloves, of course, and then levitation boots, and just plain old adaptive armor in there for now. Also, of course, rescue beacon, because this is not Faye, so she doesn't have plot armor. Anyway, that's that one. Confirm.
Please confirm the area.
Snow ruins, please. Confirm.
Please confirm.
While I have access to level 3, note that I lack, as I said, it was specifically asking for CWIS and things like that. Mainly because, well, we saw in the other video what happens at level 3. But anyway, that's not what this is about. This is level 1. We've got half an hour. Snow Ruins level 1.
Commander of Outpost 11, Faye Pratt. Sortie authorization granted.
Thank you. I launch. This character now has her supporting dash maxed out for mobility. Also, I picked this character as one to try and skill up because she's actually got a skill that benefits any cataphract units, by which I mean the mechs. So they take less damage, they do more damage in turns, stuff like that. So basically a very good one if you plan to use robots, that skill tree, and she's got a fair chunk of it. Anyway, let's see what we got. We got Frozen Highlands, Insta-loot. Anyway, yeah, let's just go ahead and roll forward to Frozen Highland. This is after all just a supermarket retrieval mission, I believe. I am honestly not sure what my base was targeting there. Also worth noting, by the way, the drone that flees when you get close apparently counts as a medium or bigger target. What are you shooting at? You've broken a window. Congratulations.
Command mode activated.
Ah, we've got the bug again where it doesn't load up properly. There we go. Right. Okay, so, as you can see, my base is now looking considerably more substantial in this initial zone. Also, happy if it did suggest like switching over to like a camo scheme just to see how that looks. I wound up picking like desert camo because it's more visible compared to the actual bulk parts of the guns themselves. But snow would have been appropriate for this environment. I don't honestly have that many actual camos unlocked, really. Unless we would check the mine launcher. Yeah, this is why I mounted the mine launcher, just tucked it on the front catwalk here. First off, because there was no... there was originally 4 bottom NGs underneath here, but the 2 in the middle were blocking the autoloaders from reaching the central cryo turret, so that's a thing. Actually... no, that one's not blocked. That's not blocked. That one should not be blocked because of where it's positioned. This one might... I don't think this one is either. We'll find out if the gun shuts down eventually. But yeah, the mine launcher is actually directly controlled by me. It doesn't actually require an ammo feed from an autoloader. Instead, you actually spend 120 materials to reload its stock of 9 mines. And so being on the frontier gives it a wide firing area around the front of the base to actually deploy a minefield should we wish to. That's kind of why that's there. There is, of course, also the heavy artillery, which I've not actually configured for its activity. Honestly, I think I'll leave that as manual control because this base design, it has plenty of shells in storage to feed to it, but it's meant to be for fire support. Like, the enemy is getting within range. There's a massive concentration of them. Fire the cannon. That's basically all that is. It's not really intended for automatic operation. Yeah, take that gold. I need that gold. Actually, that's something I can do while I'm here. Because I did say this video would have us jumping back and forth. So, another thing I've done with this layout is I've actually arranged it so that there is a gap for players to just get straight in. Like right there. We only need 1 block of gap to get through comfortably. And this allows players to just go in and out to the front of my base without having to concern themselves at all. So yeah, that's something there. But I wanted to actually have a quick look at the assembler with you. So, assembler, here we go. What can the assembler do for me? It can do many things, provided you have some gold. Basic armor plate for 5, lockpicks for 10, grenades, rocket launchers. You see what I mean, though? I feel like you would need a bigger variety of parts for all this, like different materials. But instead it's just like a little bit of gold, and then it feeds off either ammo boxes, which you can make in your ammo makers for 100 resource, or off grenades, which in itself also just requires an ammo box. Though an ammo box to 1 grenade is actually kind of stingy, but you know, it does flow that way. So yeah, honestly, now that I've got this, I can see myself making the switch to using elemental ammo types versus regular ammo, just in general, because this ensures a pretty easy resupply. But also worth noting is regular ammo only stacks to 500, specialty ammo actually stocks to 1,000 in a stack. So, you know, I just went there looking for my cargo pod. My cargo pod's actually up here. Yeah. That'll take a bit getting used to. I just said I wanted to keep the gold. If we go up here, though, yeah, we get a pretty good overview of everything. And then if we want to go higher, of course, there are the bounce pads available, which go boing. And here we are, once again, highest point of the base. Though I was also considering making actually a couple of dedicated sniper towers in these back corners, specifically for Clint's. And they would actually be taller than this thing. Let me know if you want me to actually try and do that, because I think I've figured out a decent enough way to do it. In a way that's fairly useful too, and powered, which is also important. Anyway. There we go. Sudden slashes to get over here. Don't care, just drop in and... ooh, a cannon nexus. Don't care about that door. Back to the looting. Loot goblin powers. Activate.
Blizzard outbreak. Operative mobility reduced.
Operative mobility doesn't care. You know what? I actually forgot to do that. I forgot to install doors. Of all the things my fortified base lacks, it doesn't have any doors. Bit of a whoopsie there. I will, however, go ahead and deploy, for 5 energy, a cataphract. There we go. So, I've gone over this briefly in videos before, but I will go ahead and lay it out now because I've actually got one of these on my base. Cataphract. It deploys once. So now that that is out, this particular hangar is empty. So yes, that is that. This is now a big mobile unit. If I hop into it, it's actually very fast on its feet, which will let me kind of go and experiment with other characters that are less mobile. I've actually been eyeing up recently the guy with a shoulder-mounted rocket launcher, so you know, might be a good one to have. And this does kind of alleviate a lot of mobility issues in itself. However, its ammo can be reloaded, but it does have a finite health bar. If it dies, we can't make a new one from this hangar. That's why I've got 2 hangars on the back here. But it does come with a 30mm and a rapid-fire Gatling. It'll automatically fight as well, with its 2,000 ammo, which is 2 ammo boxes worth, by the way, within its range, and it will only auto-attack with the Gatling. It doesn't actually use the 30mm for that. 30mm is player control only.
Combat mode activated.
So that's worth noting about this thing.
Manual mode activated. Welcome, pilot.
Yeah. I'm going to be tempted to pick up a repair turret just to try and keep this guy in good health. Though again, I'm waiting on getting a better Guardian Fabricator, or even a Guardian Fabricator, but we need the better one to get repair turreted ones.
Automatic mode activated.
Anyway. Yep, just one last thing to cover before we actually move on. Also, power core. I also very specifically arranged this one because I like to see the container going up and then the hatch doors open above it for it to ascend. You didn't really see that in the previous base because the actual ceiling was on this first level. but it's the second and third levels that actually have hatches that open as the container leaves. Just one of those odd little things that I actually like to have a look at in this game.
Command mode activated.
Anyway, with that done, it is time to move on.
Combat mode activated.
I think, by the way, part of the instability of this game is it seems to reload a lot of stuff every single time you actually go into an exploration day or extraction day. Like, it loads into this particular map really quick, really snappy. Like this little area hub, because, you know, it's a very small thing. Add a machine gun or HP. Honestly, we've got plenty of machine guns. Give me more hit points. And then you are Frozen Highlands. I will return to base, but not to extract. Instead, I'm going to go this way. So, dormitory. Insolutes. Turrets have a small chance to cause explosions. Or more materials. Give me more materials, I suppose. Thank you. Insolutes an abandoned mine. Abandoned mine. Oh, wait, I remember that POI. Right. Actually, I should actually show you guys some of these, shouldn't I? Right. Abandoned mine. Let's drop into this one. That's one drawback of doing passive runs. It's like a lot of the environments I keep skipping through, and then it's like I've not actually shown it on camera. Whoops. Oh well. I guess that's a drawback of how this particular thing has been shown off, isn't it? I don't have a mental checklist of what I've shown on camera either. Maybe I should actually make a list. Maybe. I certainly didn't show you around that school earlier in this episode very well, did I? But the interior is basically jumbled with like fortified desks and tables and things. Kind of like it was someone was trying to hold out there, in a way. But now it's just a complete mess inside. Are you quite done there, turrets?